Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring team.
Oh, partner.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line TAB's Rugby League Betting Podcast. My name is Karl, joined in studio by my good mate, Paul Mawate. Paul, how was your week watching the footy, mate?
Well, I loved it because there was just so much of it. And a lot of it was of a very, very high standard. The officiating, I'm not so sure if that was at the same sort of level. And I'm guessing that one of our friends today will be having a wee bit of a chat about that. I'm not sure how far we'll let him go.
There's a line, and he needs to stay under it, or he will not be back. And I'm fairly certain he knows where the line is. So, to said friend, just keep yourself in check, pal.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'd like to welcome in Nick Tedeschi. Teddy, how you going?
I'm good. Just here in the bunker, just doing my absolute best there. Here, Karl, Paul. Have I found the line?
Silly, welcome in.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's not me, surely. I think everyone knows it's Teddy. I am good, though. Warriors win. Life's good yet again.
Yes. Right, fellas, we've got a jam-packed show. We're going to crack straight into the opener.
Wow.
Had some good feedback on last week's top 10, despite how shambolic it was. So we're going to go again. And I've asked you to do some prep around try scorers on the back of Alex Johnson scoring a hat-trick, becoming the second ever player to score 200 tries in the NRL. That is unbelievable. I want to create a list, top 10 list of try scorers, but not necessarily by the numbers. Just sort of how you guys feel about try scorers. This is all subjective. The rules are as they were last week, Surly. I assume you listened to the show, but just in case you didn't, everybody gets one veto. Otherwise, we go around the circle and try and make a list of 10. Paul, do you want to start this week?
Yep.
Did you do the homework?
Yep.
Okay.
I'll turn my piece of paper over.
Good start.
I'm going to go with Manu Vatuvei.
Tick.
Oh, look at Teddy. You do not use your veto here.
No, I'll veto his veto.
Manu Vatuvei. Look, it takes, first of all, a very, very good rugby league player to score 10 tries in 10 straight seasons. 10 plus tries in 10 straight seasons. First of all, you've got to stay relatively injury-free. And you've got to know the way to the try line. And that's exactly what Manu Vatuvei did.
Look at him getting agitated.
He is.
Look
Look
at
at
him.
In the long and storied history of Australian Rugby League, dating back 117 years now, the first name you can come up with in the great try scorers is Manu Vatuvei. I've absolutely heard it all.
He was first on my list too. Surly, where did he rank on your list?
Yeah, he was top 5, and he wasn't any lower than third. I'll give you that much.
There you go. So that's Manu Vatuvei, first on our list of top 10 try scorers.
Boom.
Teddy, you might as well go next.
Well, I'm completely rattled by that, so absolutely ridiculous. Figuring that this would be skewing way too recently, I am going back through the annals of top. And I just want to confirm: is this someone I've had to have seen, or is this someone I've just read about?
Nah, come on, you got to
Wow.
have.
I've got two lists, so I'm prepared, Karl.
I think you have to have seen them. Like you've got.
Okay. The seen list, fine. Didn't score as many because his career probably wasn't as long as it probably could have been, but scored some of the most magic tries you'll ever see in the 1990s. Brett Mullins
Veto.
was an elite try scorer.
I'm kidding.
Brett Mullins was unbelievable. The trip and chase tries. He scored 4 tries in back-to-back weeks. Unbelievable try scorer. And his pomp, Brett Mullins.
Can't argue with that.
No, I'm happy with that. Yep.
Yeah. Surly, who you got?
I'll go with Greg Inglis, just because freak of an athlete, scored some unreal tries, had the try celebration to go with it as well. And he just left you on the couch at times wondering how he was able to score from certain positions. The bloke was a freak.
Yep. He was also on my list. The one that sticks out is when he threw Jamie Soward 10 rows back into the stands. My one, and if I get vetoed again first round, this is going to be tough. The Warriors version of Wade McKinnon. Only scored 16 tries for the Warriors.
Oh no, he's gone.
Oh, you don't have to go any further. I'm happy to use my veto on this one. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard on the long history of this podcast. Wade McKinnon being one of the 10 greatest try scorers of all time. Wade McKinnon probably wasn't in the 10 greatest try scorers in the Warriors 2005 to 2020.
Wow. Wow. This is subjective, and this is try scorers that I liked watching. And if you go back and watch highlights from 2007, Wade McKinnon and the Warriors, they were all from the other side of halfway. He was one of the greatest fullbacks to be backing up. He was always there. Always.
Oh, well, let's definitely put him in ahead of Billy Slater then, if we're talking about one of the greatest fullbacks to be backing up.
I've got Billy Slater on my list too, but Wade McKinnon, Warriors Wade McKinnon, he was elite.
Vetoed.
You're...
Hold on.
I'm not allowed to swear in this podcast, but I'm very close.
There is a line,
Press
and
the
if you
ball.
go below it, you will not be back on.
Yes, I'll be back before you are.
as has been noted over the years, Karl, I'm very hard to kill like a cockroach.
This is unbelievable. We're not playing this game next week.
Wade McKinnon is such a great try scorer. His highest rep on it was one game for City.
Yeah.
Scored 44 tries in 153 games.
I told you that. He only scored 16 tries for the Warriors in 54 games, but they were all elite tries.
I like it.
I suspect even your two diehard Warriors colleagues here disagree with what you're saying.
Nah, I like Wade. I'm a big Wade McKinnon fan. I give that a massive tick of approval.
I can't believe it. I'm in the bunker with Teddy.
Oh.
Things have reached dark times for you two. When Maladi's the voice of reason.
That's 2 weeks in a row. My first selection's been vetoed.
Hey, what happened to? We've got a action-packed show. We really got to get a move on.
Well, we do.
How many
Okay,
have we done?
Go, your next one then.
Okay, I also have one from around the Brett Mullins era. I'll save him. I'm going to go with Nathan Blacklock.
Yeah, he was on my
who was
list.
just super for the Dragons. I think he played 137 games for the Dragons, scored 120 tries. It just his ability, and he scored some absolute super ones as well. He had to do a lot of work for a number of those tries. So Nathan Blacklock for mine.
And G knew how to celebrate too.
Oh yes, indeed.
He was that try in the 99 grand final. He just steamed onto it in the middle of the park. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Wade McKinnon like. Teddy, your next one.
Very hard to go past the great Terry Lamb, probably the greatest backup merchant of all time. I think third, maybe fourth on the try scoring list now. Continued to score tries for the better part of 15 years. Created himself, backed up, one of the great men. And I don't have to look at Karl because he's not even in the screen to know what's about to happen here. So.
No, play on.
Terry Lamb, play on, he says. Terry Lamb, one of the great try scorers.
Surly?
I'll go with Henry Farfeli. Try celebrations, just had them on point non-stop. One of the great lids, one of the first league players to rock the cornrows, really brought that Americanism to our great game of rugby league. Exceptional player, freak of a talent, was my favourite player growing up. What a guy.
Yeah, I'll get behind that. You're always, whenever he scored a try, you're always waiting. What's the celebration going to be today?
Well, it was a great 5 years he had in the NRL.
Just be nice one time. Be nice.
5 more than any of us. We'll take it. We'll take it.
He's on the list. Whose turn is it? Mine?
Yep.
Billy Slater. Paul, what do you got next?
I'm going back to sort of around that Brett Mullins era. It might have been a wee bit before. Oh, no, I think it was about the same time. Ken Nagus for the Raiders. And one try just stands out. And I think it was, I think it was against the Dragons, where the Dragons kicked the ball. He caught it on the 1 meter from his own try line and then just burst through the entire Dragons team to score a try. And he was just in a canter at the end. But one of the Dragons wingers was chasing him. I can't remember who. It wasn't, it wasn't Wolford. It was the other winger. But he was sprinting as hard as he could. And Ken Nagus was just jogging, and he was not making ground on him. Ken Nagus, I just love the way he played.
Any pushback, fellas?
No.
You sure, Ted?
No, Ken Nagus scored a lot of tries over a long period of time. He was a great player.
Okay. Yours? We've got two more. Two more. We need to fill two more.
Yeah, there are a few I was tossing up here. I've kind of gone back. I was thinking the 80s, Phil Blake, Chicka Ferguson, more recently, your Brett Stewart's. But I couldn't go past the Pearl, Steve Renouf.
Yeah.
He just seemed to score every time he touched the ball on that great Broncos side in the 90s. Everyone talks about Mal's the greatest centre they've seen, and it's hard to argue that Mal wasn't the best, but I think the gap between him and Steve Renouf is not very far. He was fantastic, the Pearl. So I reckon he scored, I'm sure this is incorrect if you look up the books, but it seemed like he scored 3 or 4 tries against Canterbury in about 10 straight games in the middle of the 90s as they've continued to towel us up. So he was a superstar, and never looked that fast, never looked that strong, but was always just fast enough for his opponent and just too strong for his opponent every single time. Didn't matter who it was. So absolutely love the Pearl. So I hated him, but nothing but respect for him, Steve Renouf.
He scored that try against, was it the Dragons in the grand final, where he was strong enough to fend off someone, I can't remember, and then he just ran away.
He fended him off for about 20 metres as well. It wasn't just a quick fend off. The guy hung on like he was holding on to the inside to the steering wheel from outside of the car, but couldn't get a hold of it.
Nice. Good selection. Surly, who you got?
Sticking to my theme, which my hat might give away the theme, I am going with Sean Johnson. I think some of the individual tries he has scored, that one in particular against the Broncos, just freakish. And when you look back at his highlight reel, it's got to be up there with some of the best in the game. Footwork, speed, ability to create something from nothing. I've SJ. I know Karl won't veto it. It's up to the other two.
No, Teddy's used his. He's out.
Oh, man, with vetoes. Like, the biggest disgrace in this game is I don't have 6 vetoes. Well, I need it.
It's not Teddy's top 10 list. This is a team.
No, I'll tell you what it's turned into. Just a random Warriors. I'm surprised Ben Madalino hasn't got a call up yet.
Well, he was in my top 10. He was in my top 10, and I'm gutted I didn't get to rattle it off.
Oh, jeez.
We've only got 3 Warriors here.
One was vetoed. So in the history of rugby league that we've seen, so for us, the better part of 30 years, for Paul, the better part of 75 years, and we've got what, 3 Warriors, including one plus one who was vetoed.
Yep.
None of whom should be there.
Well, Francis Melly, unlucky to look out.
Special mention to Warriors version of DWZ as well.
Yep, agreed.
But that's our 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Vetuvai, Mullins, Inglis, Blacklock, Lamb, Farfelli, Slater, Nagus, Renouf, Johnson. What an elite lineup.
Just a disclaimer that all hosts do not agree with the with the combined list.
If we could get to the producers, if we get AI to change that to all hosts agree, we'll plaster that all over social.
Oh, well, then we can just get the kissing app going and just have me and Manu Vadavai slowly dancing, or me and Wade McKinnon. Karl furiously scribbling down notes.
Well, happy to give the beast a big kiss. All right, let's move on to some punting chat. How did we fare over the weekend? Surly, how'd you go?
Hit one good same gamer, the Luke Metcalf into Lecker into Warriors at 21-1, but that was my claim to fame for the weekend. Apart from that, she was pretty slim pickings, a couple small wins here and there, but nothing worth the Instagram story that one was, just to get chins wagging and people to think that I am a punting god when in real if they could see my balance, they would know that is not the truth.
I'll bring you back down to earth shortly when I go through all the multis, the same multis that you just rattled off, but cashed sort of between $5,000 and $45,000.
Yeah, there would have been some juicy ones out there. Lecker at $750 off the bench was a great odds booster.
Oh, and he drifted.
Yeah, we'll get to that shortly.
Yeah, but we could have a whole other advantage line just on all the big multis that collected over the weekend on the NRL.
That game, yeah. Surprised we're still here, actually.
Oh, gee,
How'd you
here
go?
we go. No good, really. Okay, with the ponies on the weekend. NRL, the closest I got, I took a Sunday treble. Wars to win by 1-12. Panthers to win by 1-12 into the Raiders, not the Raiders, the Roosters just to win. So no good. And
that's a loss for those following along at home.
That was a loss. And I was on the right side of the move too, because the Rooster did come in after the news of Fogarty being out for the Raiders. But no dice for mine.
Teddy, any bad beat stories for us?
Yeah, a few bad beats, but one bad beat. It was mainly a very good weekend, though, which was a rarity, which is nice. Had the unders in the Dragons Newcastle game, which was never in danger. Titans plus 12.5. Ryan Pappenhausen's miss from next to the post turned out to be an absolute godsend, but Casey Badger did her absolute best to get me beaten that one. Thanks, Casey. Not even the worst decision of the week. Was all in Manly and Manly 13 plus, and got a little lucky with Tolu Kola last try, so a little something there. So Super Saturday, but Sunday was a bit ugly, so decided to go again after Canberra. After Fogarty was out, I was down. I'm thinking, what do I do? Do I try and get out of this? I knew he was out. The line hadn't moved. I just went again at the plus 4.5. Had the over. Also had a very lucky same game multi that started with the rugby guy scoring a try, which wasn't a try, but ended up collecting a few from me. So that's something. Bad beats though. Eels plus 4.5. There was absolutely no way they shouldn't have covered that game. They were in there up to their eyeballs, but couldn't get over the line. So probably the worst beat there. But they managed to give some back on betting over 5.5 double faults in one of the women's quarterfinals at the French Open last night. This is a little something. So you can never get too far ahead in this game. Never get too far ahead.
Yeah. So it's Mark, the rugby player, Nawaka Nitawasi. That's his nickname, the rugby player.
Guy.
Well, his unit is about to be the next Paul Carriage, the way he catches these bombs.
That's a bow that you're just stretching way too far. Yeah, that's a veto.
I was a bit like Surly, cashed on the Warriors game multiple ways. Had Warriors, Eels, Roosters in a wee multi. Both of those games could have gone either way. And then in my betting, which I'm sure we'll get to
we will
very soon, I missed out on my same game multi, which was the leg that probably should have collected, didn't. But like I alluded to before, go through some multis that cashed. We got absolutely rinsed here at TAB HQ on the Warriors game. The biggest collect, a 6-leg same game multi that had Dallin Watene-Zelezniak first try scorer, Luke Metcalf, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Alex Johnston, and Latrell Mitchell anytime into Warriors head-to-head. $100 on to return $45,500.
Wow.
Wow, that is something else.
That is something else.
Fairly straightforward when you look at it.
It's one of those games where just like all the try scorers scored. Like he did well done on the first try score, but he just picked probably 5 favourites in there to score tries.
Yep.
Favourite to win the game. one of the favourites to score first tries and get 45 large out of it. Well done, Rick. Well done.
Yep.
That's
Well
yeah.
done.
And there's plenty more along the lines. I'll go through a couple here. Warriors head-to-head, DWZ first, Latrell anytime, 200 into 7,000. Warriors 1 to 12, DWZ first, Rocco Berry anytime, James Fisher-Harris 30 plus tackles, $25 into 2.3K. Warriors 1 to 12, DWZ first, DWZ anytime, Metcalf, Lecker, Chance anytime, $7 into 9.2 thousand.
I don't understand that.
Why would you put DWZ in again?
Yes, yeah. It would. It might even negate. It might actually pull you back a couple of cents.
Similar to this one, Warriors head-to-head, Warriors 1 to 12, Roger, AJ, and Metcalf anytime, 200 into 5.2. There's plenty more like that for the Warriors game. But here's a couple that include other games. We've got the rugby guy anytime, RTS anytime, AJ anytime, Hudson Young anytime, 400 into 6,000. We've got Hudson Young, the rugby guy, the Fox, AJ, RTS, 100 into 7,000. We had 1,000 on Lecker anytime. This must have been live at $11.
Oh.
And then there was a power play in the Warriors, DWZ first try scorer Metcalf anytime, that was paying $28. There was 4 or 5 people that put 100 on that, but there was one punter who took that option and multied it into the same power play in the Panthers game. Brian To'o first try, Edwards anytime, $5 into 3,500. So some savvy punting.
It was raining money for punters. Raining money.
So this could be the last TAL ever. With budget cuts. And
More salary is getting cut from 8 figures to 7 figures, I'd imagine.
Teddy, if it's the last one, mate, you may as well tee off. Go for gold.
No. There was a joke.
Oh, you don't want to hear this. You don't want to hear me on the last episode, Karl.
So you be careful. Every episode could be your last.
Yeah, you might want to tell Teddy after. Oh, that was your last one, by the way.
How did we go as a show last week, Teddy?
Well, of course, what, Teddy?
What's your name?
Wow.
Did Surly send any bets in last week?
I don't think so, because I don't got none here.
I've also got it on good authority. He's dogging another podcast that he's on. He didn't send any bets in last week or the week prior.
Nah, Caesar, so that was incorrect, and it got taken to the bunker. I actually sent in a winner, but said host with the bonus cash that controls it was on the Bears at a bar and decided to punt that money herself. Didn't win. My bet won. Zach Hosking into Raiders, and yeah, some listeners missed out on some cash.
Whoa.
My apologies, Silly. My apologies.
Wow.
Oh well, I respect what happened though.
Yeah,
so he is getting on the circuit. Nothing but respect.
Of course, we had 150 on State of Origin Game 1, and of course, the usual 150 on NRL. We'll start with State of Origin.
Should we let's make the State of Origin different to our actual?
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
I think we should.
No. It's all about punting rugby league. We'll start with Blake, State of Origin. Best bet, under 39.5, tick. Mitchell Moses to score a try, no good. Same game multi, New South Wales to win by 1 to 12, Latrell to score a try, and To'o and Lomax to get over 150 metres, no good. And then he had New South Wales to trail and win 1 to 12, that was no good. So he was down $51 for the State of Origin. Karl, Queensland plus 3.5, no good. Bell Holmes to score a try. Oh, wow. It's all happening here, folks. His same game multi, Queensland plus 3.5. Holmes, the Hammer to both score a try, and under 39.5, no good.
Did the Hammer play that game? I didn't see him at all.
Whoa, wow.
He missed a lot of tackles.
And Holmes to be the first try scorer. Minus 150 for Karl in that one there. Teddy, Queensland plus 3.5, no good. Hammer to score a try, no good. Under 39.5 and Latrell to score a try for his same game multi, no good. And man of the match, DCE, no good. Minus 150 for Teddy there. And me, under 39.5, tick. Robert Toya to score a try, no. Queensland plus 3.5, Lomax and Toya to score a try, no. And player of the match, Harry Grant, no. Minus 51 for me for that. Right.
Tough day for the fellas.
Tough, very tough. State Origin. We bounced back in the NRL, though.
Bread and butter.
Blake, best bet Warriors minus 1.5 at $1.85. Yes. Taruba to score a try. Yes. His same game multi. Nawakanita Wasi, that rugby guy, to score a try. Hosking to score a try. And Raiders to win 1-12. No good. And then he had a crazy one. He had Tuipulotu to score a try, Dragons to win. Into Coates to score a try, Storm to win. Into Metcalf to score a try, Waz to win. That was paying $17.51. The first part of that, Tuipulotu would have been refunded, or would have come out as $1 in the multi, because Tuipulotu didn't play, and the Xavier Coates didn't play for the Storm, so that would have been refunded as well. So he basically just had Metcalf to score a try and Waz to win, which was successful. So I paid him out for that. In the end, he was up $142.50 for the weekend on NRL.
Great job, mate.
Nice work.
Karl, you had your best bet, Manly to win at $2.15. Yes.
Bang.
Grant Anderson to score a try.
Bang.
Yes.
What about that was? You know what price he started, Karl? When we were looking at the price? He started $1.70 when he started on the wing.
Yeah, I think we got him at, what did I get him at?
$2.95.
Yeah, $2.95, yeah. What a fill up.
Yep. Same game multi had Storm minus 11.5. Yeah.
Tick.
Storm over 40.5. Oh.
No.
Farlonga and Anderson both to score a try. Oh.
No. It was Farlonga, Anderson, and someone else
to get
combined for 4 tries.
Oh, and you did, because the other guy was Pappy. It was Pappenhausen, and he didn't score any, but those two got doubles, didn't they?
Each.
Yeah.
So I got the tries.
Wow.
The Storm couldn't score enough points for me, which is
wow.
not something you hear often.
When you look at the weather.
Well, we're all screwed on that a bit because it was completely torrential.
Yes,
it was.
Correct.
Yes. But they were scoring with ease at points at times.
Not often enough.
Obviously.
And then you had Manly into the Eels. No good. So you were up $105 for the NRL on the weekend. Teddy, under 44.5 in the Dragons. Newcastle, your best bet? Yes.
Easy.
Nanai to score a try at 275. Yes. Same game multi. Manly plus 6.5. Kohler to score a try, and Ben Trebojevic.
Oh, he got within about 4 centimetres of scoring too.
He did.
Just stretch out.
No good. And then, once again, you were affected by the weather. 61 or more points in the Titans Storm game at 450. No good. You were up 82.50 for the weekend in NRL.
Nice. 3 out of 3 so far.
Oh, shit. Okay, me, best bet, Roosters at $2. No good. Daniel Tupou to score a try at $2.05. Tick.
And also score one of the funniest tries of all time, so maybe you deserve double points for that by waiting an hour for the other winger to come back at him.
What was it? No, he waited because Hudson Young was coming across and slid across in front of him, but then he just waited for another.
He was taunting Savage. He was taunting Xavier Savage.
Right. Well,
do you reckon? I don't know about that.
He just seemed to be lost. For mine, he looked a wee bit lost. But if it's taunting, oh, well, then I get double points for that now. My same game multi, Waz to win. Alex Johnston to score a try. Metcalf to score a try. That came out at $8.07.
Nice.
And my any other bet, Waz to win. Dragons to win. Manly to win at $5.78.
Oh,
bang,
wow.
that came in.
Oh, Paulie.
I'm up $298.75 for that week.
I was about to say, are you back at the positive overall yet, Paul?
I'm minus $194.70.
Hey, to quote Paul Kelly, from little things, big things grow, Paul.
Wow.
Acorn Oak Tree.
Nice work, though, Paul. Good stuff. 4 from 4.
3 from 4. Should have been. Roosters didn't win.
4 from 4. We're all up for the week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Huge.
What's the overall tally for the season, Paul?
Okay, so Teddy, you are up 478.75.
Nice.
Karl, you are up $121.30.
Oh,
Lovely.
And Blake is up $603.25.
Oh, wow, eh?
and Surly just plays when he wants.
Surly is down $169.75 at the moment. And that's not, I'm not taking money off him for not putting bets in for a round.
I've had 3 where you have, though. So I'm actually doing all right when I send my bets in. It's just remembering when to.
Okay, good stuff. Let's go good, the bad, the ugly. I'll start with the good. The Sunday footy, those 3 games, great watch. All 3 games were back and forth. I imagine if you were a neutral watching that Warriors-Rabbitohs game, it would have been an incredible watch. I was a little bit uptight and doing laps in my lounge in the last, but the other 2 games were a great watch. Cleary versus Moses was good fun. The Roosters and Raiders back and forth. I enjoyed the Sunday footy. That's my good for the week.
There's no such thing as a neutral, Karl, when you bet.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
As a quote-unquote neutral, I didn't enjoy it at all, having bet the under and South.
I'm glad we ruined your day. Surly, what do you got for the good?
Just the performance of Chance Nickel-Klokstad and Warriors fans finally giving him his flowers. And I feel like they do for a couple of weeks, and then they'll be back on the Tane or Rogers should be fullback train. But I think the performance of Chance was outstanding. He's so reliable, workhorse, helps out our middle forwards so much with his yardage carries, over 100 post-contact meters. The bloke just always gives it everything he's got. And yeah, it was cool to see Warriors fans get around him after running, 340 odd meters, scoring a try. It was a massive performance from him.
He's got, shout out to the random stats guy on Instagram. In the last 2 years, for anyone that's clocked over 300 meters in a game, in the top 10, Chance owns 4 of those numbers.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Teddy, you're good.
Look, you know me, I'm not one to revel in the good. I like to spin good into bad and make things like this. The good for me is the world closing in on Michael Maguire. It has been absolutely fantastic. Some good judges, I know you're amongst them, Karl. One of the very few to be very anti-Broncos this year. And the vitriol that came out after that first week when they thumped the Roosters seems a long time ago now, saying as the completely inept Broncos can't get out of their own way. Looks like it's 3 bad coaching hires on the trot. They try to get a flashy one for the Broncos. Nothing summed up there not more than seeing Trent Barrett in the coaching box sitting next to him, just looking blankly ahead, easier assistant with all the solutions. Ezra Mam getting booed and think he was getting booed because he stood up for racism, not because he was coming down off drugs or high on drugs and crashed his car, which injured innocent bystanders. So they're a completely delusional side, the Broncos, and I'm here for every moment of it. It is gripping theatre. The death march is on for Maguire now. This will go on for a year because no one will want to admit they're wrong. This is fantastic. This is another Seabold. I can tell you, people at other clubs that they have been to previously, and Maguire's about, are absolutely reveling in this. So the good, the death march of Michael Maguire.
I'd love to hear what his bad and his ugly are today. Because boy, oh boy, if that's good.
We might wrap this segment up. What do you got, Paul? Bring it back to some good.
Yeah, good for mine. Alex Johnston scoring the hat trick and getting 200 career tries. He's now only 12 behind the great Ken Irvine. Just to put it into perspective, he started in 2014. The next best current player still going around is Daniel Tupou, who started 2 years before Alex Johnston and is 30 tries behind him. Look,
and he had that season at fullback where he obviously wouldn't have scored as many as he would have on the wing.
Barely scored from memory when they tried him at fullback.
Yeah. He round the room quickly. He gets the record. Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Smashes the record.
Yeah.
He's off contract though, eh? When does who's going to sign him?
I've got it on. I wouldn't say fairly good authority. I'm very confident he'll be re-signed myself.
Okay, good. So he should be.
Yeah, can't argue with that. How good? Like Latrell's pass, I think for the second was, oh my god! Like one of the.
What about Latrell in general at the moment though? Like the pass in Origin to To'o and that pass to AJ, like. Gee, I can't remember. There aren't too many blokes in the history of as big as Latrell who are as skilled as him. Like such soft hands. He's wonderful. When Latrell switches on and goes, all right, it's as good as anything to watch in footy.
I thought watching that first half, I thought, I was like, oh, Latrell's he's having one of those games where he's not really that interested. Then he comes out second half and almost won the game.
He's interested again. Yes, he it's like something switched on at half time, and he was just ready to do anything. And that pass for must have been his third or second try.
Second try,
but it was right, and there was a warrior just in between somewhere. If it was slightly off, then that gets knocked down or intercepted. It was on the money, and if you can pass. It's a very underrated part of the game, but if you can pass accurately, you go a long way to creating a whole heap of tries. Because there was a moment in the Manly game where the new winger Fa'alalo, he made a break down the right, and he had two Manly players inside him with the cover tackle coming across, and he passed it in between the two Manly players, and it went to ground. So passing is very much underrated.
All right, bad. I'm expecting other people to bring other things up. So I've just gone injuries and suspensions to specific players in my NRL fantasy team. Not great. I'm battling to make the 8 here.
Big game, big matchup this weekend, Karl.
It is against Paul Moate. He's in 8th spot. I'm in 9th. I need a win. It's tough. That's my bad. Shirley?
You mentioned the high quality footy, and I think this is what you're alluding to, but that Dragons Knights to come off the back of Origin into the first game that you watch again, apart from 15 minutes, that was a genuine poo slinger, and probably 65 minutes of my life that I would love to get back. Do yourself a favour, watch the 2 minutes of highlights and just keep it at that. Shout out to Kai Pearce-Paul, finally scoring a try though. If you rode him every week, like I know some punters probably have, then he finally saluted for you. But yeah, I'll go that game. That was one for the purists.
I imagine like that's what it would be like watching rugby union every week. It was that bad.
Look, hand up.
Any chance he gets.
Probably no surprise to anyone on this podcast. I did not watch that game. Mate, the Newcastle Knights were playing. I am not watching that.
Don't care. Rugby league's rugby league.
Anyone following along the season, though, Newcastle Knights scoring in the last 10 minutes again. There you go. It's a bet every week. Paul, you're bad.
Well, I was going to go the injury to
Barney.
Yeah. Look, he's a big part of that Warriors setup, and not just his tackles and his yards and his meters. He's one of the big leaders. He's the co-captain for a reason, and it gives the side a whole heap of balance when there's him and James Fisher-Harris. Now, I'm not writing the Wars off here, but a little bit of that they won't be able to replace. But
who's more of a loss, Fish or Barney?
It's a pick 'em, to be fair. It's $1.90 the pair.
How about the neutral in the room?
I think Fisher-Harris is harder to replace than Barnett, but it's pretty close. Both great players, and I really hate seeing players who work as hard as he does cop injuries like that. You know, he's worked. You can see. I went down to Bathurst last week to watch the Knights and Panthers in a low game, and my oldest were reflecting. We were there 3 or 4 years ago when he got sent off for a cheap shot elbow to Chris Smith's jaw, And I think where he's come from, you know, now captaining a club, playing Origin, playing fantastic. Like, yeah, I feel a lot of sympathy for that.
And it wasn't even like those are the worst injuries too. Like he just got caught up.
Yeah, it's when they're nothing. They're always the worst ones. It's when they're absolutely innocuous. They always turn to be the worst. And the worst part for you now is not going to be this year. Like you guys will keep rolling, whatever. Like it'll hurt, but it's going to be the start of next year because he's not going to be available to kick the season off.
Modern science, medicine, maybe.
No, well, look, you can, but like they're just never the same for the first 12 months afterwards, and he's not going to be the same for the first. No matter how tough he is, it's just going to take a while to get some stability on that man and all that stuff. So it's a long road back.
There'll be some of the younger boys, the younger mid forwards. We'll be getting Jacob Laban and co. will be getting a wee bit more game time off the bench for the rest of the season. So they'll gain a whole heap more experience.
For as much as we've talked about Jackson Ford's inability to hold the ball this season,
boy, he played
super.
He did.
Once Barney went off. A little
what about the stat of the week? His first ever try assist.
Almost a chip and chase into his own try.
That was the most ridiculous try of the weekend, maybe the year. It seemed like every South player was moving in slow motion.
Yeah.
Just get to the ball.
Who's left for bad? Teddy.
Oh, I've still got a bad. It's a good one.
Yeah, be short here.
It will not be short. We'll be going through a full recap of a bunker decision. And it was the worst decision of the year. And that's saying something after Casey Badger awarded disallowed a try for tunnelling when he went around the ruck, which was unbelievable to have come to that decision. Let's just recap the Raiders no try before halftime. Now, this was a holy trick. This was Haley's comet of decisions to somehow combine total incompetence, a lack of understanding of the rules, and borderline criminality with this decision. Like, it was that bad. So as we all know, when you go to the bunker, first thing to do is offside's been cleared. Every time, right? Anytime of a kick, offside's been cleared. So you assume once you move beyond that, offside's been cleared. They go through, they watch the whole thing, they're watching it. It was very clear he didn't like the baton pass from Xavier Savage, which was flat, maybe back, maybe forward. Either way, it was a pass. I couldn't rule it out. Go through and score the try. All of a sudden, they're zooming back to the start. Okay? And you know this is a problem, because now they're looking for reasons not to give it. So Sasage's kick through has been held back straight away. Now, Owen Paddy is unquestionably offside. But you're not offside within 10 metres until you're within 10 metres of the play. This is 30 metres back up the field. So say you could have run him onside. The first penalty in that situation was against the Roosters. He has somehow managed to find a penalty that went the Roosters' way, and then the Roosters go down and scored off another egregious 6 again from Ashley Clyde. For him to have pulled off that decision, a decision based on something that didn't actually exist, was actually truly unbelievable. So, and Chris Butler, we've been in this pages and this talk time and time again, has been rewarded with 3 more games this week and will probably get Origin too. So, well done to the NRL for holding him to account.
I've had my finger on the mute button for a long time here.
I kept that well within. I don't even think I mentioned the word bunker, did I?
I feel like a radio host with the dump button ready to go, but applause to you, Teddy. Well done.
I'll tell you what, you're talking about self-discipline right there.
Yeah.
That's a showcase in self-discipline.
All right, the ugly. I went into a little deep dive on the Newcastle Knights attack.
Oh,
I know that this is becoming but
repetitive.
They keep giving it to me. So bad.
You're going to get a cease and desist from the Newcastle Knights.
Well, they need a cease and desist until they can sort their attack out. Like, just stop.
They do have a cease and desist against the try line.
Yeah, exactly. So I went and had a look through 13 rounds. I went back 20 years. Through 13 rounds in the last 20 years, only 3 other times has a team scored less points.
I knew we were going there.
They've scored 159 points total. They're averaging about 13 points a game. The Dogs, unfortunately, Teddy, in 2021, They got
Oh, I
the win.
remember that well. That would have been my first guess.
134
Shout
points.
out to their coach, Trent Barrett, Broncos assistant, attacking coach.
The second team on this, shock, the Knights in 2016, 148.
Nathan Brown's Knights. He definitely deserved a job at the Warriors after that gig.
Oh, gee.
And in that season, 2016, they had 8 games where they scored 10 points or less. They've already got 6 this year.
In fairness to that year, they didn't even have a first grade side. They were just like total red. Like this year is way more of a disgrace than that.
Yep. And then the other team, 2014 Sharks, 155 points. So, yeah, just continue to beat the drum. The Knights attack. It's ugly. Who's next?
Mine's kind of been used, so I'll be short and sharp. But I had the Broncos and Mitch Barnett, and they've both been mentioned. So, yeah, I'm still struggling with the Mitch one. It still hits me. Find myself looking outside the kitchen window, just lost for thought, standing in the shower. Kim is talking to me, and it's just going in one ear and out the other. It feels like I've lost, I don't know, like my cat's passed away or something like that. It just really hurts at the moment. So, yeah, still struggling.
Probably the first time I reckon Barney's been compared to a cat.
No, well, that very poor comparison. I should say a dog, a pit bull, one of the biggest dogs in the game in a great way. Apologies,
Meow.
poor analogy. Poor analogy, but you get what I mean. Like
Yeah,
a part of me has left my body.
You're hurting, yeah.
And I'm willing to donate both my ACLs, although both of them are probably in worse condition than Mitch's at the moment. So I don't know if I'll be able to
do yours as well.
I've done them before, and they've been put together, and they're hanging on by a thread. So I won't follow through, but I'm willing to offer, and that's the thought that counts.
Yeah. Paul.
Well, it's already been said. The performance of the Broncos, or just and especially defensively, they really don't seem to be trying over the last few weeks. So it does look like, as Teddy accurately said, it looks like they could be looking for a new coach. Maybe not this season, but next season.
All right, Teddy, bring us home safely.
Yeah, safely. I don't know if anyone watches NRL 360. I do my absolute best to avoid it, but I stupidly tuned in last night and saw some of the most inane conversation of all time, where Dean Ritchie's saying Lachlan Gowan should be playing New South Wales Cup. Gordon Tallis is smirking at how bad Michael Maguire is going because he's trying to push Kevin Walters as a better coach. When Paul Crawley is the voice of reason, your show is completely cast. We go back to the days of when Ben Eichen and Paul Kent used to host it. It used to be a show for intelligent people. It has become an absolute cluster. And just leave me out. I can watch 10 minutes of it. I thought, you know what, this is just stupid. I'm going to go and start season 7 of Homicide: Life on the Street. It was more uplifting. So,
Real Housewives of Sydney.
Dude, unbelievable stuff. So, ugly, the complete decline of what was once the best footy show around.
You didn't mention one of the people on the show, but yeah, we'll move on.
I believe I'm legally not allowed to, Paul. Don't you blame me for that one, Karl. I was lured into that one.
Time to move on. We are going to play the grid, and we're going to do it fast.
We're running out of time.
Exactly. Across, what are we? Tuesday, the 3rd of June. Go and find the grid. Across the top, scored 500 plus career points, played for the Raiders, played less than 50 games. Down the left, Knights, played in 2013, played for the Cowboys. Teddy, your top row, please.
Just find it, top row. 500 plus points in career Newcastle Knights, Andrew Johns, 7.10. Canberra Raider, Newcastle Knight, Travis Waddell, 2.56. And my favourite answer, Newcastle Knight, less than 50 games, former Philadelphia, quote-unquote Philadelphia Eagle, Greg Smith, Wizard, 0.07.
Oh, nice work. I'll go next. 500 plus career points. Knights, I also had Andrew Johns, 7.1. That was the lowest score for that square.
How?
Because if you play smart and you got to go far back. I've learnt this.
It's
Took a punt and it
ridiculous.
worked. Knights, Raiders, James Schiller, Brain, 0.96.
Nice.
Less than 50 games. Knights, it's fast becoming one of my favourites. I think this might be 3 weeks in a row. Sio Tonga, Licky Licky, Brain, 0.21. Silly.
500 plus points. Knights should be lower than Andrew Johns. Nick Meaney, 10.66. Knights, Raiders, James Schiller, Brain, 0.96. Less than 50 games. Knights, Matthew Arthur, 0.27.
Paul.
Yep. Okay. So when I did the grid for Tuesday, the 3rd of June, this is what it was. Played a game for the Sharks, a Shane Rodney teammate, and played a game for the Eels. That was across the top. And down the side, played a game for the Panthers, played in 2005, and played a game for Manly. So this is my one.
I don't know if we have enough time for this.
No, 2. I've done it. Kurt
900 points for Paul.
2. Kurt Capewell, 4.89. Frank Pritchard, 3.13. Paul Fatuira, 2.26.
Paul Fatuira, there he is.
Okay, Teddy, back to the real grid, please.
500 points in career, played in 2013. Tyrone Roberts, Wizard, 1.36.
Oh.
Canberra Raider, played in 2013. Jake Foster, Unicorn, 0.14. Less than 50 games, 2013. Jacob Loco, 0.91.
I get the feeling I know who's going to win this week.
Yeah. Listen,
I didn't do so well. That was a good row for me, but every other row was not so good.
500 points, 2013. Aiden Caesar, Brain, 1.65. Raider, 2013, one of my favourites. WWE superstar Daniel Vidot, 1.32. And less than 50 games, Isaac John, 1.70.
You love an Isaac John too, don't you? 500 plus points, 2013, also had Tyrone Roberts, Wizard, 1.36. Canberra, 2013, Sandor Earl, Brain, 0.87. And less than 50 games, played in 2013, Carlos Toimavave, 0.72.
Nice.
Rightio. Played in 2005, Cronulla Sharks. Vince Mellors, Wizard, 0.19. Used to live around the corner from me in Ascot Park. Played in 2005, Shane Rodney teammate. Tony Pulitua, 2.00. Played in 2005, Parramatta Eels. Henry Perinara, Wizard, 0.57.
Bring us home, Teddy.
500 plus points in career, Cowboy Josh Hannay, 4.32. Raider Cowboy Brett Hetherington, 3.66. And less than 50 games, Cowboy Robert Derby, 0.35.
Wow. 500 points, Cowboys Matt Bowen, 8.93. Raider Cowboy Semi Valime, 8.24. Less than 50 games, Cowboys Steve Rapera, 1.68.
Controversy struck me here. I had 500 plus points, Cowboys Jordan Kahu, 5.60. Then the grid decided for Canberra and Cowboys that John Bateman currently isn't playing in their second row and gave me 100.
That's not fair. Take that off.
No,
It's
that's
an
probably the
flop.
obvious answer. So that score's right.
Nah,
We'll give you 20 for that one.
Red Cross should have been a Brain. I've emailed in. I'm waiting for that back. So I've taken the 0.96 for that one. And then less than 50 games, Cowboys. Viliami Vailea, love sneaking in random Warriors, 3.14.
Manly and Cronulla. T-Rex Tony Williams, 7.26. Manly and Shane Rodney teammate. Steve Maddai, 3.71. Manly and the Eels. Michael Witt, 1.57.
Totals, please.
20.5.
Wow. 31.8.
123.6.
25.6.
So the podium this week, Teddy, Karl, Surley. Well done.
Hey.
Whoa.
You got 900, Paul. You did the wrong one.
You did the wrong one.
I did not do the wrong one because I've got a photo of it here and it says Tuesday, 3rd of June, grid 590. There it is.
Unfortunately, it's time to move on.
And at the time I did it, I was number 1 on the list.
You're the only one who have done it.
Time to move on.
Oh.
Into head-to-head. I was supposed to do last week's results. I have not. But
Did all the morals? Did all my morals get up last week?
I can't remember.
They did.
Blake
Guess
semi-moral did.
Blake
Didn't
win.
Blake go the
Blake
perfect
great.
round?
Yeah, he
He
did the
did.
perfect round.
Shout out, Blake. Round the room, we'll go Teddy, Surly, myself, Paul. No, Teddy, Surly, Paul, myself, sorry. Knights, $2.95. Seagulls, $1.40.
Seagulls.
Yeah, Manly.
Manly.
Manly. Storm, $1.20. Cowboys, $4.60.
Melbourne.
Melbourne.
Storm.
Storm. Dolphins, $1.55. Dragons, $2.45.
Dragons.
Finns.
Dolphins.
Dolphins. Sharks, $1.48. Warriors, $2.65.
Warriors. Morals.
Warriors.
You filthy. You've done that on purpose. That.
2% Warriors this week.
Oh, gee,
Agreed.
I'm
Warriors and Morals. 265. Great price. Thank you, TOB.
Cannot believe the price this week.
was.
Warriors, how good. Okay. Broncos, $1.35. Titans, $3.20.
Titans, not morals, but as close as you can get without being a moral. Titans.
I've gone Titans as well.
Me too.
Same, and I'm on the edge of using the M word as well. Raiders, $1.40. Rabbitohs, $2.95.
Canberra.
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 Canberra, but just. Tigers, $3.35. Panthers, $1.33.
Panthers, but Tigers a massive chance.
Yeah, I've got the same here. Panthers, but just.
Panthers.
Panthers. Bulldogs, $1.40. Eels, $2.95.
Dogs.
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 Dogs. Did we go
Not quite.
nearly?
What about it was the Finns Dragons where there was a wee
yeah.
bit
I
of,
had Dragons, and you all had the Finns.
Yeah, okay.
outside of that, we were.
Perfect.
We're all on the $3.10 outside of Gold Coast.
Yes. Okay,
If
let's...
you haven't backed them already, go back them down because there's just zero chance they start that price. Well, I won't say zero chance. I'll never want to underestimate the stupidity of the market, but because the Broncos have started ridiculously short every week, but that's a great price. I just want to get them now because, like, in all common sense, there's no way this will be plus 10.5.
Yep. Do we need to do the Knights Seagulls game on Thursday, or can we move
No.
on?
Move on.
Low game. I wish the NRL would stop scheduling these horrible Thursday games. Or just horrible games to start the round. Awful.
Yeah.
Just stop putting the Knights in the first game of the round. They've done it for the last 4 or 5 weeks. I don't know if it's to get it over with so that everyone can enjoy the rest of the round or what the go is.
Just hide it in the middle of Super Saturday or something, please.
Give
them
Everyone-
a
Give them the
non-competitive
bye.
bye.
Yeah, give them the bye every week, but they don't get any points.
The NRL have taken a leaf out of the NFL with their scheduling because remember when the Thursday night football, it was almost always
Yeah.
a horrible game.
All right.
My memory of that is it was AFC East matchups. It was the New York Jets against the Miami Dolphins for no real reason at all.
One talking point out of that game, Jackson Hastings, 18th man. Not sure that's going to solve their issues.
Yeah, and Jazz Bunga should be starting at lock, Jake Trbojevic at prop because Jazz has been playing unreal football the last couple of weeks.
Correct.
Yeah. Oh, obviously no Turbo back for Manly, which is they're just going to take it easy with him. I think you can with Lehigh. I think just a shout out to Lehigh Hopaway. He had an outstanding game on the weekend, and he's going to emerge as a great fullback. And you'd have to think that until Turbo gets fully fit again, you just bring Turbo back in the centre stand.
Yeah.
Isn't he off
And
to
let Lehigh play fullback.
So
I'm not saying permanently.
are you pushing Garrick out to the wing then?
Are we doing this game now? Is that what we're doing?
Yeah, we're doing this game now.
Okay.
I'll push Garrick out to the wing for now.
Yeah.
Well, Garrick, I don't know why anyone's trying to hold on to Ruben Garrick. I think he's a very ordinary player. So he can kick goals.
Good looking, though.
Good looking.
Good looking.
Yeah. I'm not saying don't win a team. I'm saying you don't need to keep a spot locked down for him and move people around him. He's the guy who moves around.
Yeah, fair enough.
Thoughts, Karl?
He's gone. Carl's gone.
Are we done?
Well, I'll give you a number here.
I'll give you 17.5 under.
Yeah, well, that's the under is in 13 of the last 15 Knights games. So, I don't know that you can lay the points. Manly away from Brookvale's been favourites, ordinary, but Newcastle, they've covered just 3 of their last 12 at home off a 13-plus loss and haven't covered any of their last 6 at home off scoring 6 or fewer. So, no way you can back the Knights here. If you're having a bet, you'll get Manly.
4 of 5 at home too, Newcastle this year.
Yeah. And Manly have a very good record against Newcastle too. So,
yeah. Okay. Dolphins $1.55, Dragons $2.45, Lions 5.5, totals 46.5. Marshall King and Plath named on an extended bench for the Finns, and Jaden Sewer is out for the Dragons. Teddy, what have you got here?
You'd think JMK and Plath both play, but not 100% sure. Especially Plath, I think, will face a late week fitness test. This was the one game we had different to each other, and I love the Dolphins. I'm choosing them to make the 8 this year, but I very much like the Dragons getting the points in this one. I think the line's silly. Dolphins covered just 5 of their last 15 when favoured. 2 of their last 7 as a favourite at Suncorp. Don't back up particularly well either off a good effort. They've failed to cover their last 3 after scoring 40+. And just some Origin, which you'll hear a bit throughout the podcast. Interstate underdogs during the Origin period covered 64%. Which is a big, big number. Dragons covered 6 of their last 8 in the state. They've covered their last 4, getting at least a try. 24 and 15 against the spread against bottom 9 teams. I like what Tuipulotu's back this week. I kind of think they're tough enough under Flanagan to kind of keep this one close. So I think they'll be tactically they'll be better than the Dolphins. I think the last game played the Dolphins when they ran away from the Dogs in the death in that Origin game with all the Dogs out. So I'm happy to be with the Dragons plus, and I'll be backing them straight out too.
Anything to add on this game, Surly?
Nah, I do think it'll be tight, but I saw the Dragons have only won 2 of their last 10 at Suncorp, so most of those are probably against the Broncos, to be fair, or Magic Round.
Including 2 weeks ago against the Broncos.
Yeah. Well, everyone's beating the Broncos, though, aren't they? So, I just went the Finns, but I do think it's going to be really tight, so I can see why Teddy got around them.
Just a little stat on that one, Surly. The closest game between these 2 in the 4 games they've played, 14 points. They've all been floggings. Wow. Which is surprising, saying I think 3 of them had lines of less than a try. So the home team's covered all 4. Something for Dolphins backers out.
Wow. Anything there for you, Paul?
Yeah, I just think the Dragons get to meet a real team after playing a bunch of cardboard cutouts last weekend. So
that's very insulting to cardboard cutouts. I think they're moving it faster than Newcastle night.
Okay, Sharks $1.48, Warriors $2.65, the line 6.5, total 43.5. Katoa is in for the Sharks, straight swap for Molitalo. Teague Wilton's back, as we said earlier. Barney's out for the Warriors. Rocco Berry's out. Looking forward to prop. Capewell to centre. Leka to start. Though Ali Latoa is on the extended bench. Surly, what do you know from behind the scenes?
Not a lot, to be fair, but I wouldn't be surprised if Ali comes in to centre, Cape's back to the second row, Leka drops to the bench, and one of Stowers, Smith or Laban drops out. I do know that it was his defence which got Rocco in over Ali, so perhaps they go with a similar mindset there and keep Capewell just for his energy and line speed and leadership out in the centres, but yeah, Ali for me still has massive upside, and I just feel sorry for Rocco. I'm glad it's only a 1-week injury, but the poor bloke can't catch a break at the moment.
What did he do? I missed this.
It's just a hamstring strain, and it's just tightness. So they're being conservative with him because they do see him as starting and one of our main centres. But yeah, he looks dejected at the moment. He's a bit over it because the poor bloke just can't catch a break. He's a quality player, man, especially defensively.
Teddy, what do the stats say?
Warriors won 3 of the last 4 against Sharks, including the last 2 at sharp par. Key numbers from again, Origin in period interstate underdogs cover 64%, so that bodes them well. 12-3 against the spread the last 15 in Australia, the Wars, so they really are underrated by the market as well as playing well. Covered 28 of 18 as an underdog, 18 of 31 getting at least 6 points. And the other number here that really boosted confidence on the Warriors. The Sharks against top draw position, 8-16 against the spread. They just struggle against the best team. Warriors lost 3 games this year to second place Raiders and I think fourth place Storm. Haven't lost to a team outside the top 4 yet this year. Don't get flogged. Defensively pretty sound. Just 2 other little notes in this one as well. Love the over in this one. Oh, for the last 5 between those two, 54 plus. The over is 27-19 when the Wires are a dog, 24-16 when they're off a win, and it is 11-8 when the Sharks are off conceding 30 plus. So, very keen on the over in this one as well. And just a little discussion on Luke Metcalf anytime try. North of $3. I have no idea how this bloke is not hovering around the $2 or $2.20 mark every week. Now, don't bookmakers block your ears, earmuffs, as they say in old school. Earmuffs, it's stupid, the price. Absolutely, he's got 8 tries this year, but it's not just that he's scoring tries. It's the manner in which he scores them, how much he's touching the ball, how much he's pushing for the line. Like, this guy is over every single week. Luke Metcalf scored a try.
His try scoring record overall is incredible. It's like 20 now and 38 games or something in the NRL, and then he was similar in New South Wales Cup. Very
he's a try scoring machine. He's very fast. Those fast guys who get their hands on the ball score a lot of tries.
Yep. Paul?
I just like the Wires, that's all.
Cool.
Me too.
Anything else to add, Shirley?
No, I'll just raise Paulie's like to a love, and I'll just say that they are the greatest team on planet Earth. We've won 6 of our last 7 in Australia as well, so we don't mind taking a trip through customs and heading across the border. And I agree with that Lukey Metcalf shout. I feel like he scores against the Sharks too, obviously his ex-team, but I have memories of him punishing them a couple times. Also, Roger, the Sharks are conceding 51% of their tries to left side attacks, RTS on the left wing, 3 tries in his last 2 games. And unfortunately for us, we're conceding 60% of our tries to left side attacks as well, which means that man KL Idol is a good shout too on an insane scoring streak at the moment.
Nice. Next one, Raiders $1.40, Rabbits $2.95, the line 8.5, total 46.5. Josh Papali becomes the Raiders' most capped player this week. Jamal Fogarty back, Cody Walker and Jack Whiten back for the Bunnies. Teddy, what do the stats say here?
Yeah, big game. Like I said, Josh Papali breaks the Raiders' record. It'll be a sold-out crowd there at Canberra. The nation's capital is really up and about behind the Raiders the last couple of years. Ricky Stewart was kind of interesting in the press conference last week. He said the Raiders look like the Raiders desperately need a break. I couldn't agree any more than they need a break, and they got the bye. Expecting that. Don't get me started on the draw, but absolute stupidity. Sometimes they have 2 byes and the Raiders haven't had a bye yet. But they'll be up for this. They love Big Papa. They'll be up for this. Don't love this game as a betting proposition. But I will be having something small on the Raiders here, kind of go against the normal Origin period stuff, just because of the big game here. But the Raiders have a great record against South. They've won 9 of the last 12. They've covered 8 of those games. 5 of the Raiders 9-3 against the spread off a win, 5-1 against the spread at home. The last 6, 7-1 against the spread against teams outside the top 8. The Bunnies cover just 3 of 12 against top 4 teams, 3 of 13 in the state, 2 of 11 off conceding 36 plus. Makes me think that there is. Last week I kind of didn't go too hard on South. Probably learned a lesson there that South are probably in that overrated category at the moment. So we'll be having something small on the Raiders, and we'll be batting the over 16-6 since 2008. Goes over at 61% day games the last 4 years, and 64% when a home team's 2 or shorter off an interstate win. So backing me over with a good deal of confidence in this one too.
Nice. Sealy?
No, I just like milestone games. I think they'll get up, and big pups at $7 is a decent shout anytime as well, because that would be a nice fairy tale. But yeah, I just trust Canberra this year, and I think they'll be too good.
Yeah, I don't think we've talked about it before. It'll depend what Latrell turns up for the Bunnies. He's had a couple of big games now, back to back.
I think you can bet. I think like Latrell's off the drink. He flew the early flight home to train with the Rabbitohs after Origin. I think you can back on Latrell like being heavily involved.
Hmm.
Like, I don't think this is the enigmatic Latrell shows up or Latrell does nothing. I think Latrell's trying every game at the moment, so I think you can back on that.
Well, I think part of that too, though, is because Cody Walker and Jack White are back, two guys that like to have the ball in their hand as well.
Yep.
So Latrell's going to miss out on some ball by basic math.
Yep. But Latrell does love playing with Cody. Those two get on and off the field as well as any combo.
And Jack Whiten back against the Raiders too.
Hmm.
We'll want to have something to say, I'm sure.
Well, I will say this. He'd want to have something to say because he's been one of the worst signings of all time. He's going to see us.
Okay.
He has been, if you go look at the Rugby League eye tests about player contribution ratings, he's on bottom 3 this year. His efforts are poor, and he has been dreadful for the amount of money he's on South. But gets away with it because everyone goes Jack White and tough. But Jack White's been abysmal for South since he's gone there. So he'd want to start putting something for him.
Well, we might hear more about Jack Whiten soon when we come to betting. Paul, what do you think about this game?
I've just been impressed with the consistency of this Raiders team over the last 4 or 5 weeks. They really, really have dug deep. Fogarty, I thought, would be a big out for them last week, but they didn't really seem to miss a beat. They really looked very, very cohesive in what they were doing. So, yeah, I think this is going to be. And although they are getting some players back, the Rabbitohs, I just think they might just be out of sync slightly first week back with all of their big boys back.
All right, last one. Bulldogs $1.40, Eels $2.95. The line is 8.5. The total 44.5. Carraz back for the Dogs. Will Penasini back for the Eels. Lachlan Galvin named on an extended bench. Teddy, will he play?
Of course he'll play. Of course he will play. He's absolute certainty to be in that 17. Probably starts off the bench, but every chance of starting at halfback too. You don't spend that amount of money to play someone in reserve grade. Thanks, Dean Ritchie. They will play, but I couldn't be laying the 8.5 points with the Dogs. This one's a very big number. I think the Dogs win, but they've covered just 2 of their last 9 in the core, 2 of their last 9 in favour for 8 or more. The Eels covered just 2 of 7 in the core, but covered 8 of 10 of scoring 10 or fewer. So probably lean towards the plus here. The big plus for the Dogs, though, is Will Penasini back, the swinging gate. Bronson Sherry just absolutely crosses over there. There are a few players you just want to bet against every week to score a try. Whoever Will Penasini's marking, you just want to be on, and Sherry can go. So almost having my best try, didn't, but that's a little additional one for the punters out there. These two typically play unders games. Since 2008, the under is 26-9, but I like the over in this one. Day games go over. There's a big over situation for both teams here. The Dogs 11-6, the over for loss of 20 or more. Eels 13-5 over when the underdogs of 8 or more points, and a few other angles there. So I think there'll be points in this one.
Shirley?
Yeah, I was half tempted by Para, but then I saw the ins back in for the Dogs, so I just decided to stick with them, and they'll want to bounce back after a disappointing performance pre the bye. So obviously they get their Origin lads back. You mentioned Kiraz back, Kurt Mann back in the mix. I think they will be too good, but I think it'll be a tight game and a good watch. I think last year in this game it was 22-18, so wouldn't be
last minute try, I think, or try and 5 to go.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is close. And just how good is Monday night footy?
And they played a stinker earlier in the year where the Eels kept it within, I think the line was 8.5 again, and it was kept within 8. Quite get a late field goal and make it take it from 6 to 8, but Eels dug deep and they were going much worse than they are now. So, yeah, definitely don't like the Eels off in this one.
I was with you, Shirley. I thought the Eels, that price at $2.95 is worth a little go. They've been a much better team with Lomax and Moses. But the Dogs, it'll be a good game. Paul?
Well, there's a reason why they're top of the table, because they've been playing bloody well. And although the line does look slightly big at 8.5, I just can't see the Eels having enough in their tank against this Dogs team.
Alrighty.
Plus the Dogs hate the Eels. They'll be up for it.
It goes both ways, doesn't it?
Well, yeah, but Eels. they'll be smarting it from losing Lachlan Galvin, but Eels don't win. Eels don't win when it counts.
Okay. Punting. Teddy, give us your betting for this week, please.
Best bet North Queensland plus 16.5 at $1.90 against the Melbourne. Cannot believe that one. Absolutely cannot believe that line. Unfortunately, won't go into that now, but North Queensland plus 16.5, absolute max bet there. Try scorer, both for more at $3.90. Jordan Ricky, also a swinging gate, both for more, runs very, very hard. Broncos not trying, both for more, never stops trying. He's got 5 tries, 11 games this year, $3.90. Thanks for coming. $25 same game multi. The Wars plus 6.5 into RTS try into Luke Metcalf try at $8.16. Certainly summed up perfectly with RTS and where they're scoring tries and where the trucks are conceding. Anyone who likes a little bit of the old Ricardo flair, we're throwing Kaoliro into that as well, but I'll leave it out. $8.16 is good enough for me. And anything else to win? Gold Coast, $3.20. I think whatever you've got up there now. Gold Coast to win.
Nice. Who was going next?
I'll step up. Why not? $50 best bet. No surprises. Warriors head-to-head at $2.65. My best try scorer, Dragons conceding 49% of their tries to left-sided attacks. Herbie Farnworth, I think he's probably on everyone's bet slip this week, so I'll back him in again at $2.20. That's still good odds for a guy that's scored in what, six
in a row?
Yeah, 6 straight weeks. So that's generous stuff. My same game
got out of his hospital bed last week to score for us.
Yeah, there you go. Came overheld a Susan Boyle to be able to score. Not even that could hold him down. So good on him. My same game multi, Knights suck and they leak to right side attacks. So I'm going Manly to win, Falolo to score, and Burbo to score. Teddy's mate at $8.43. And my $25 on anything else is Herbie into KL Iro and RTS paying $10.26.
Paul.
Best bet, Titans plus 10.5 at $1.90 against the Broncos. Try scorer, KL Iro at $2.15. My same game multi, Tamale, Young, and Mitchell all to score tries at $9.34. And my anything bet, it's a power play from the Newcastle Manly game. To Tolatau Kola to be the first, second, or third try scorer, and Clayton Folalo to be an anytime try scorer at $10.
Ooh.
Wow.
Rounding it up, best bet, Knights under 17.5 points, $2. Try scorer, Jack Whiten at $3.50.
Should I just put it in every week from now? Your best bet is going to be Knights under whatever they are.
When they give me $2, yes, absolutely. Same game multi, Wars plus 6.5, RTS anytime over 45.5 at $5.10. And then anything else, Titans plus, Warriors plus, Eels plus at $6.57. And I'll just quickly check to see if Ashford has sent his bets in.
No.
Ban him.
No, he just said, feel free to chat for 5 or 10 minutes around my perfect tipping round today, fellas. No thanks.
Well done, Blake, for last week.
Best bet from Blake, $50. Broncos minus 10.5.
Yeah.
Anytime try scorer, Jordan Ricky.
Knights over 27.5 points.
All right. That were way overs.
Crikey.
Thank you for joining us, Teddy, Surly, Paul. Really appreciate it. And
it's always good to come on and be on my best behaviour.
To all the punters out there, we'll do it all again next week on The Advantage Line.